Hi everyone, it's Emma back with another Chemistry GCSE video for WJEC, and today we are going to look at how to know the formulas for acids in the acids and bases topic. So formulas are something you would have had to look at in year 10, and for me to explain a formula, H2O is a formula. So water is the word, the formula for water is H2O. So an equation is the whole thing. Like in maths, you have a sum, an equation. But a formula is when you use those symbols from the periodic table instead of words, and then you can put them into an equation. Complicated formulas will be higher, really. So, and even in the higher paper, they are just sometimes want you to fill in the gaps. They might not ask you for a whole formula. Asking for a complete asking for a complete equation, if it's complicated, you know, they are the harder questions in the paper. So the three acids I've already explained that you need to know about are nitric acid, hydrochloric acid and sulfuric acid. And I'm going to teach you how you will know the formulas for these in your exams. So we know already that all acids have H+ ions in them. And if you look on the back of your periodic table, you would see a H+ ion. I'm going to link an ions table into this video in the description box because I don't have one. But in your exam, at the back of this periodic table, you will have an ions table. And it will basically have H+, and that's a hydrogen ion. Now, we'll start with the simplest one. Hydrochloric acid. Now, that makes a chloride salt. We've already looked into that. But what is the formula for hydrochloric acid? Well, if we look at the back of the periodic table to the ions table, we would find chloride on there as a Cl-. So we'd have H+ and Cl-. All acids start with the H at the beginning of their formula. And then because it's hydrochloric, we're looking for the chloride. Now, these two ions come together to make the formula to make hydrochloric acid. Now, we just need to check that they're balanced because all formulas, all molecules, compounds, they are balanced, as in they don't have a charge. So yes, these ions have a charge, but for them to be stable, they need to balance each other out. Now, H+ means that it's got one positive charge to it. Cl- means it's got one negative. Do they balance each other out? Well, yeah, they do. So they actually are happy on a 1-to-1 ratio. If you look in the description box, I'm going to link the year 10 video on how to work out all different types of formulas. But basically, the simplest way to do it is a crisscross version. You don't actually understand the science behind this, then they've got to balance out. But you take the one, because there's one from there, and that means we need one of each. So if you're not understanding how to balance, then go to the crisscross version. And basically, the formula for hydrochloric acid is HCl because they balance each other out. We don't need any numbers in it. So that's the easiest acid to put into a formula. The next one I'm going to look at is nitric acid. So all acids start with a H because acids, what happens when acids react? They ionize, they break up all the H+ ions. So that's what ionize means. I forgot to say that in another video. So ionize means to break up. So if we looked on the back of the periodic table, we would see the word nitrate in the ions table, and it would be NO3-. Now the NO3, it means there's one nitrogen and two oxygens in this ion, and there's a minus here. We've got a positive here. Again, do they balance each other out? If there's no number there, it means there's a 1. So we've got a 1 coming from there, 1 coming from there. They do balance each other out, and that means that the formula for nitric acid is H, because they always start with a H, all acids do, NO3. And that is the formula for nitric acid. All right, last one. Sulfuric acid is probably the trickiest one. Again, all acids have a H+ at the start. Well, it's not a H+ at the start. They start with a H. So that H comes from the H+ ion. And if you looked on the ions table, at the back of the periodic table, you would see SO4 2-. So this can be a little bit more tricky because there's two numbers, little numbers. But the small number at the bottom just means there's 4 oxygen. That is nothing to do with the charge. The charge for SO4 is 2 minus. So there's 2 negatives. We've only got 1 positive. So we need to balance them out. Does that mean, that means that we need to have more positive things. We need 1 more. So we'll need 2 H's in this. Again, you could do the crisscross, but it doesn't actually show you the science behind it. So the 2 comes to this side, the 1 goes to that side from the charge. That means we need 2 of them and 1 of these. Now we can't write a 2 at the beginning of our formula because that means there's 2 of everything. So what we do is we write our H, because all acids start with H, and then we write our 2. And the little 2 means if it's after, whatever letter it's after, that's what it belongs to. So this 2 belongs to that H, and then we put SO4. And that is the formula for sulfuric acid. So all acids start with a H at the beginning of the formula, and you need to look on the ions table for chloride, sulfate and nitrate to work out the formula. By the time you get to the exam, if you get this, you probably know it even before the exam. And definitely look at the year 10 video for how to do formulas, you know, for everything really. I'm not going to go into it on here though, because this is year 11 stuff. So I think I'm going to leave that video there, and we will look at equations at the next video. Thanks for watching.